circling. It's circling. Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with my brother in Arizona. And we have a little interview here today because he has something to say to describe his experience with homelessness. And it has happened recently. So let's talk to J.R. Miller.
Hi, everybody.
How are you, J.R.?
Doing
Brother?
good today. Doing good.
Okay. Well, so what did you have happen last September until almost July?
It was, they moved us in on May 9th, I think.
They
May
kept
2nd.
on asking you, did they keep on asking you to wait another month?
Yes. From September, they
Why?
said, well, um, we're going to get you in a place in October. And October came. No, it'll be November. Then they said, well, hang in there. We're working as fast as we can on it. We can get you into place in December. I thought, how nice, maybe for Christmas. And nope. Then they called me back and said, it's going to be January. And in January, they called me to tell me that they're working on this new house, this new apartment building that they're building. It should be done in February, and we can start moving people in. So it was always promises and stalls, and Primavera was my funder. So they provided funds for me to move in on a senior grant in my name. And
How old are you, J.R.?
I'm 64 at current time. In July 1st, I'll be 65.
Were they planning to make you wait until July?
I don't know. I don't know. But I should have been in her already. The two gentlemen that also passed all the things with flying colors, they were in here first. And I still don't
Well,
understand that.
what I recall you're saying to me is that under the circumstances, yours was the most severe condition, and they put you in first in line at the beginning.
I also finished all of the jumps they made me go through, all the different interviews and all the different processes ahead of everybody else. And two gentlemen were right below me. Only three of us made it through. And they got placed right away. I had to sit and wait and wait and wait.
Uh, tell me, tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Arizona, from Globe, Miami, Arizona. Um, I spent summers on the White Mountain Reservation of the Apache and San Carlos Apaches. Um,
So you're
I,
Cherokee.
I'm Cherokee Nation, and I came to Tucson in 1985. Um, my first job here was as a morning shift supervisor for Dunkin' Donuts, meaning I'm the one who went in and made the donuts. And um,
Must have been delicious.
then from there, I went to working with mentally and physically challenged adults because I hold an associate's degree in child psychology. At that time, they were looking for case managers for DDD, DES. DDD is Department of Developmental Disabilities, working with individuals who are both physically and mentally challenged. I don't like saying disabled because everybody's disabled. We're all challenged. Um, I worked in that capacity for 6 years, and then the state decided, oh no, we need a 2 year, a two degree to hold this position. I wasn't willing to go back to college to get that second degree. So I just left and became just a supervisor working
Just a
IDLAs.
supervisor.
I'm working with IDLAs and independent living with assistants and
What does IDLA stand for? Sorry for interrupting.
eight staff in each home and two clients in each home. My first one was apartment setting with 14 clients, two to each apartment, and staff just went there and assisted them with what they couldn't do themselves, like cooking, helped with their laundry. I dealt with a lot of people with cerebral palsy, and they were totally disabled. So a lot of lifting and carrying, and it was hard work. And then I left there. That was with Project PEP. Then I went from there to CPAS, Community Psychology and Education Services. And there I was a supervisor of two IDLAs. And I ran that for um, 8 years. 8 years. They kept giving me great reviews. I saved them $3,000 each place quarterly, yet they couldn't give me a raise.
Oh my goodness.
So I had staff that were making more money than me. And I was like, well, I just am going to step down. 67-hour weeks for 40-hour pay is just not worth it. I was salary, and I didn't get paid holidays or overtime or anything, which didn't matter because my job was to the clients I served. And so, anyways, I stepped down to just the staff, and they put me on an on-call list. And out of the blue, Richard, the second boss above me at the time, called me and said, "Can you go down to this house? I have a new manager there, and she doesn't know what she's supposed to be doing with the bookwork. Can you teach her?" Well, I went there, and she said, "Here, you know how to do them, so you do them." I said, "That's not why I came. I came here to teach you what you don't know." And she said, "Well, Richard is my uncle-in-law, so he didn't tell me that." So I called Richard on the phone and I said, "What's this? She's telling me I can do the books because she doesn't need to learn it."
That's really unfair sounding.
It's called nepotism and it's illegal. So he got on her case and said, "You will learn from him," and that's all there is to it. Well, my mother passed away, and they called me to the hospital when she was dying. And I went and I called Shana, the manager, and told her I'm not going to come in for about a week. I need about a week to calm down from this and handle affairs. So she said, "Okay, you take all the time you need." They called me in 4 days and said, "You got to be back by Sunday, or you're not going to be the assistant manager, supervisor." I said, "That's fine." But so I called Richard, and he said, "What? She cannot make you go in. You're on family leave." And he called her, and she didn't want to hear it. Um, so I just told him, "Take it away from me then. I don't care. I will not be in until the following Monday when I'm supposed to return to work." And when I got there, she met me and gave me my release papers saying, "I'm sorry, but at this time, you don't fit our ideal mold, so we will let you go." From there, I went
Now,
to
what was the
that
ideal mold? Can you
mold
describe
for,
it?
she wanted somebody that would do her job and she'd get paid for it. And I was not the one that was going to do that. So,
You suppose that having been considered native had anything to do with that?
well, she was black and I was native. And it wasn't that. It was because she feared me as a supervisor. We knew each other on supervisory committees and stuff. So she didn't like me because I knew too much and she didn't know enough. And yeah, she wasn't
What
willing.
year was this? What year was this?
I can't remember all the years and stuff. It was, I think, 1996, somewhere in there. And so uh, they didn't allow me to go back to on-call status. They just terminated me. So
Oh, was it only the degree that was the problem?
that was the only reason, because I failed to listen to her command and return sooner than planned on FMLA, which is illegal. And
Oh,
I told the uh, human resource department that I intended to sue. So they quietly shut me up by giving me extra money and my severance pay, and then told me that my cash out on my employee stock options were at a certain dollar amount, and that they'll be ready for me in 4 years. And
did you
it was
accept that?
it wasn't. I didn't have a choice at the time. It was either that or lose my place, and I could always work somewhere else.
So
So
this is your place of employment. Can you tell us more about your residences over the years?
I owned was buying a house, uh, a duplex, and the owner split it in half and made one duplex on one side, one duplex on the other side. It was originally a full house with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths, and he divided it up and put 2 bedroom and 1 bath on each side. Well, I was buying my side with rent to own. I owed him about $1,000 more, and he lived in Mexico, and he passed away, and his children wanted $5,000 for the entire house, both sides. I couldn't get a loan because I just started working again, and so I had no choice but to vacate and lose all the money I paid in it.
Would that have been something you could have brought to court?
No, because it was a verbal agreement and nothing in writing. So,
I've heard Judge Wapner in the past honor oral agreements when the litigants spoke to him.
but here in Arizona, they can fire us for any reason, and we can't fight them. And same with housing. They can kick us out for any reason, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh my goodness.
Try and get ourselves
Um,
safe. From there, I went to another apartment with my SMI, mentally deranged sister, and I knew it wasn't going to work. Uh, but she started bringing strange people home, and all my stuff was on the bookcase. So they saw all my knickknacks and stuff as they walked into her bedroom, and uh, they'd look at them like they were going to steal them. And she said, "Well, it's because all your stuff is everywhere. None of my stuff is anywhere." I said, "No, you have to think about the people you're bringing here. Are they going to steal? And what difference would it be of yours or mine?" Anyways, we fought. She broke a window, and the landlord lived right next door, and he was like, "What the hell is going on?" I said, "She has outbursts sometimes. She will pay for the window replacement." And anyways, I moved her out, and I took over the place by myself. I lost my job at Tucson Residential Foundation because I was sick too many times. I was too getting bad already, and I
I
wound
wonder
up.
if you could tell us as well how your health fared during your moving.
Um, At times I couldn't breathe, I couldn't walk, I couldn't even sit up. I was just very, very ill. Um, I have COPD, uh, chronic asthma, and stage 4 emphysema. You can hear in the background is my concentrator running. Um,
Can't hear anything.
oh, here's my cannula. Oh, I'm pinched against the wall. Here's my cannula for my oxygen,
Oh,
and that's what I have to sleep on so I can breathe during the day. Um, Unfortunately, I have edema. I have a disease called keratoderma, which is your RXT gene genetic DNA level, which produces new skin cells. Mine produces it so much that I don't have the ability to slough off the old skin, which causes callus to build up. And I have to soak my feet and use like little scrubbers and little scalpels to try and peel it off without it bleeding. Um,
what was it like to be homeless and in this condition?
it made it harder because I had the driver's seat only, which always put me in a seated position. I would climb out of the car as much as I could, but my legs were not able to hold me up, and I did not want to fall on the asphalt. Um,
So this was from September on to nearly your birthday, May.
yeah, yep, and the cat was right behind me in her carrier and her potty box and her bowls. And she had a much bigger
Oh,
space than me, but she always
we
wanted
need
to be close.
we can't neglect to mention that you had and have a cat.
Yes. Right now she's being good. She's out there on the trundle bed. I have a trundle bed in the living room, and I'm gonna use it as a enlarged couch where we'll watch movies together, and I'll lay and talk with her. And but she's out there because I put a comforter of her mom's on there. Uh,
Um, can you tell us about the transition between her mom and you living together to the car?
well, I was living in my own trailer I bought with. I did return to college, and through uh, student loans and Pell Grants, I began saving up money. I had like $5,500 and I wanted to live in my own place. So I got a trailer, 2-bedroom trailer for $5,500. Beautiful trailer. I had to put in AC and take the swamp cooler off because that's too much liquid for my breathing. And all the floors were wooden, not just veneer, but actual wood. And
So
beautiful place.
your companion eventually passed away.
Right, but that was before I got there. I had to sell my trailer, not for the 5,500 I could have got for it, but for $3,000, and quickly moved in to Leanne's house again as her caregiver. Leanne had known me, and I knew her for over 40 years.
Wow,
She
good
didn't tell me
friend.
she was that ill, but that she just needed help, and help that was accountable, not ones that sat around doing nothing. So I chased the other person off, and I took over as her caregiver, and she got worse and worse. Her kidneys gave up on her. She went on dialysis, but not because I didn't learn kidney disease diets. I made sure I knew them, and I cooked them for us. But she wanted to overeat. and she had stockpiles of snacks by her chair that she would eat when I was not out there. So
Goodness.
she pushed herself into dialysis. And then we discovered that she had breast cancer. Well, she wouldn't go to the cancer doctor at first. And I said, you need to do this. You can't. You can't say no. You got to go do this. Your son needs you very much in his life still. And she said, okay. So she went once. They performed uh, radiation on her breasts, uh, and it metastasized. I can't say that word very well. It metastasized and spread throughout her body. The next place was in her stomach, then in her bowels, then in her kidneys. They got all that out, and then they discovered it in her backbone, in her neck and shoulder blade area. And it was already to bone level, and there's not much they can do then. Um,
What was it like to live in your truck once she had passed on?
it was
Tell
quite
us
scary.
more.
It was scary because I had twice I had someone try to break in to rob me, and they were right in my face. And my sister in California sent me pepper spray and pepper gel because I could not get to my knife fast enough. They could have easily sliced my throat. They were already in my car, so and right in my face. And then one man, I'm yelling at him, "Get out of my car!" He said, "Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. I just saw a pile of blankets and I was just checking." Well, you don't need to have your hands down my pants and touching my junk. Get your hands off my junk and get out of my car. Well, he took it off and he had his hand on the door still, apologizing. I slammed the door on his fingers. And he said, "Well, that was just damn rude. You didn't need to do that." And I said, "Well, you're in my car. I'm defending myself. You didn't need to have your fingers there." And
Right.
he walked off saying something to me. And I said, "Well, I thought there was a code between homeless people. You don't rip off another homeless person." And he said, "Whatever." Walked off. The next one was very similar. He was in there, but rummaging for my wallet. And I had already stuck it in the cubby hole and locked it in. So nobody could get it, even if they could get me. Um,
What was your daily life like?
Going from pantry to pantry trying to get enough food to eat. Soup kitchens, pantries, uh, warehouse from Gap Ministries who gave me food. A lot of food I couldn't use because there's no way of cooking it in a car. So I would just give that away to other homeless people that I ran into because maybe they could
Did
build
you
pans.
where did you park and did you have a peaceful time?
I parked um, all over the place, and then I went back up to where I was getting mail still, and I had my case managers called housing, and I called housing, and housing agreed I could park there and stay in my car, but could not enter the old house, which I didn't. And
What happened when you
other
were
people, other people broke into it and were in there, and I so wanted to just go in there and take a quick shower. And no, I didn't enter.
how often did you take a shower?
Uh, Not that often at all. I just clean myself up in bathrooms. Uh,
So have you taken a shower in the last 9 months?
no, no,
Interesting. Very interesting. How does it feel?
awful, awful. Like I'm not
And you
human.
have the edema as well.
Yeah, Well, the demon's gone down since I got my bed. I can lay on my bed and raise my legs. But I,
And this is, you
I know
said
that,
this was a week you've been in your new home?
yes. Yep.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you.
dear. You are in a much better position than you were before. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. It's very valuable for people to know that things that can happen to a person can happen to anybody. But there needs to be a lot more respect for homeless people, houselessness, and we need more resources for people to access showers on the ground level.
Right.
So,
Because most of the showers they would offer me, I had to climb up steps and go into it was unloaded on a flatbed truck. And you have 7 minutes to take a shower. I can't undress that fast, let alone shower and then get dressed again. And they weren't accommodating. They would not give you extra time based on a disability. And so, yeah, it was cool.
okay. Well, thank you for telling us about your experience. This has been J.R. Taylor. He is in Arizona and he's now in an apartment.
Yes, a beautiful
Okay,
apartment.
beautiful apartment. Okay, well, we'll talk to you later,
Okay,
and we'll see you
thank you for the time.
next time. Let's meet after you get a set of really good showers. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
People realize homelessness or houselessness is an issue here in the United States. It's a major issue, uh, not just for elderly, but for mothers and children and families. The banks don't care, they'll throw them out anyways and make them homeless. And to see a child eating out of a garbage can breaks your heart. So, even as a homeless individual, I would make sure I had extra cereal and extra milk just to give that child so they didn't have to eat out of the garbage can.
We will talk about more about that later.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.